All right, guys, good morning to you guys. 21st of August 2025, CRAZII Market Talk with KEL, where logic meets profit. Now, I understand that some of you are really biting on your nails right now because the market has been pretty choppy. And the choppy is that it basically lengthened to the upside, then it pulls back down, or it went to the downside and recovered. That's what we call as doji. And of course, having back-to-back doji is always very upsetting because you see a profit from something to nothing. Then you have a point, but you flip a position. Then you thought you are correct, and the market reversed your position again. So this is where traders get very upset. Okay, but like I always say, after a bad day or a very choppy day or a doji day, usually the next day it'll be good. Now that is statistics, but again, there will be days there will be double dojis, which is like what we saw recently, where two dojis side by side consecutively. Now, does it happen? Yes, it does. But when it happens itself, right, I can safely say it's because the market is preparing for a big movement to come. And the thing is this right now, I believe a big movement is coming in because the Jackson Hole Symposium is going to start today. And then after that, it's all right, you have about 2 to 3 days. And after that, when this all is over, the market will go back to what it's supposed to be doing. So let's go into the market right now after the interesting session. So disclaimer apply as usual. Please do your risk management. Now take a look at this one here. Now this is the type of headaches that people will have in the market, right? Let me just bring you back again. We have migraine that usually happen in the forehead area. Oops, sorry. There's some PowerPoint going on. Hypertension is basically the one at the back. Okay. Stress. Sorry, my bad. I just have the auto on. Let me just change this first. Give me a minute. I change this guy away. There's an auto animation there. Hold on a minute. I transition. None. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Come to stress. Okay. Come to stress itself, right? It's basically the circumference around your whole head. But when it comes to August, oh gosh, what is happening here? Okay. But okay, let me just give me a minute. I'm just do this again. Something went wrong in the whole anime. Okay, hold on a minute. I was supposed to have that. Transition. Nope. Yeah, I'm already done that. Not too sure why is it coming back up again. Okay, never mind. Let's try again. Okay, sorry. But trading in August itself, right, is where the headache is, all right? Okay, it's where the big headache is. Yeah, okay, so fine. Never mind. I'll show you the August seasonality pattern later on. Seemingly the PowerPoint has some screw up here. But never mind, we'll go into that. And after that, we're going to talk about the diamonds. Now, in the second session itself, we'll be talking about the diamonds, yeah? Okay, the diamond is very important, so we're looking at that, okay? All right, so let's look into the fundamental news for today and also to show you just now what happened to the August seasonality pattern. Okay, so first of all, the S&P 500 falls for a fourth day. All right, as the NASDAQ posts back-to-back losses as tech continue to slide. Now, I've given you warning. 1 week ago, I told you about Bitcoin. I told you if Bitcoin starts to fall, the NASDAQ will fall, right? I told you that very specifically. And of course, again, as usual, people have to have question mark on their head. But then again, prove it. All right, we saw the NASDAQ coming down quite strongly last night before they rebounded, yeah? Okay, so the question is this. Will this continue? Now, the reason why the market is having this selling is because of the mixed retail result that came out and also the Federal Reserve latest meeting minutes, yeah? Okay, so to begin with, NVIDIA ended lower. Advanced micro devices, Broadcom, all lost 1%. Now, Palantir initially dropped more than 5%. Then it recovered to decline by 1%. Intel dropped by 7%, even though we had the White House coming in, even though SoftBank came in. So that were profit taking when the market went up. Okay. So of course, there's some profit taking, as what they say. And the thing is, right now, usually in August, the volume is quite sparse. That means that usually the market volume is quite little. Okay. And the thing is this, we saw that Target, right, basically have his shares down. The retailer reported another decline in sales. Obviously, I already said that we are in recession, the technical recession, but of course, the market is not buying into it. I'll leave it alone there. And of course, the main thing is that the July meeting of the FOMC showed that central bank expressed concern about the state of the labor market and inflation, which most of them agree that it's too soon to lower rates. So which means that there is a possibility that September may not lower rate. But again, other than that itself, right, there are people who still think that there'll be a rate cut. So the thing is this, with the minutes saying that most of them think that it's too early to lower rates, maybe they will still lower rate in September, but they will say, look, this could be only one now. I think this is what will be happening. So they will, on pressure, lower rate in September by a 25 basis point, but they will say that, look, this may not be the only one, but probably could be the only one. Okay, so this is something that they are probably saying that, because now the thing is this, everybody is pricing it now. There was a high of 96%. It started to drop now. Now it's about 80%. Yeah. So if Jerome Powell during the Jackson Hole symposium is going to be hawkish, that will pressure the tech stock even further, because the tech stock really dependent on a low interest rate environment. So if the environment stays high for interest rate itself, right, still it will create a bit of cost for them. Yeah. So take note of that. That's the reason why people keep on buying into tech share, because they want the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. Yeah. Okay. Now, this Federal Reserve Bank, this is the symposium, the annual Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium. It'll be from today, August 21st to 23rd. So it's going to be today, tomorrow, and the next day. So it ends on Saturday. Yeah. All right. So the thing is this, we're going to have a lot of stuff. You can watch, you can go online to read it and stuff. Basically, this event provides a venue for international central bankers, Federal Reserve officials, other policymakers, academics to discuss of mutual concern. All right. So you can go to this kansascityfed.org to read more about symposium. This is more than a decade-long history. Now, one thing to note is that the divided Fed worry about the tariff, inflation, and labor market basically shows that, yeah, it's quite split, a divergence of opinion between the different officials, right? Most of them don't think it's time to cut rate, right? But two of them believe that they should be cutting rate ASAP. So this is the first time that multiple governors voted against a rate decision in 30 years. That means that normally they only say, okay, let's cut rate, or universally say cut rate. The only difference is like 50 basis point or 25 basis point. But this time around, it's that most of them say no cut rate, but some of them say must cut rate. That is what you're trying to say. So of course, the main thing is Donald Trump is giving a lot of pressure to everybody, and that causes a little bit unhappiness, right, especially for the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, one thing to note, right, the UK traders can forget about this cutting rate, because now the thing is this, the high inflation and the geopolitical uncertainty had led the market to price in a 50% chance of a cut rate. Okay, so the thing is this, as rate being cut in UK, the inflation had to creep up, and that's why probably Jerome Powell understand this, and watching their neighbors doing this problem here, they know that it's kind of difficult to do that. Now, Palantir stock fell for the 6 straight days, losing the longest winning streak. So you can see here itself, that's how Palantir traded. Palantir went all the way up itself from the low end here of 152, went up to high of 188. And then after that, you can see it basically gave back whatever the gap was. The market just take it back from them. Yeah. So there was a gap over here. The market just covered it. So this is really the power of AI trading, whereby any gap up is covered by the system. So give you an example, right? You see this is a gap up, right? Over here, the system, when it comes down, it cover back nicely. So if it's basically a gap up, it doesn't cover. You can see that again, it covered, and so forth. So the thing is this right now, is it a good time to buy Palantir stock? I still don't think so. But of course, you can see based on the indicator, we are near a bottom. So maybe I would say that you can come down a little bit more, like 140, maybe I'll consider. At 156, I don't think this is a good price to buy yet. For us to buy 190 is ridiculous. 140, I think you can give a try if you want to really do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Then of course, we have this Governor Lisa Cook says that she will not resign over the accusation of mortgage fraud leveled at her by a Trump housing official who has been critical of the central bank. So it seems that the White House is targeting the different governors and trying to tell them that they should really consider to go to do the cut rate camp. And this is one lady says that she is not going to budge. She apparently is right. this Donald Trump went to social media and said that Cook must resign now. My God, okay, this is pretty crazy though for a president to behave like this. This is like really like a child's play. I mean, as a president, I think he should really do it the official way, not go to social media and whack this way. I mean, serious lah. This guy is really one question mark person. Yeah, Donald Trump. Okay. Now the S&P 500. Now take a look at this. Is a seasonal pattern. So why do I talk about the August period? If you look carefully, I mean, throughout, other than January, the rest of the period itself, right, the market for the S&P 500. Now, this is basically a last 20 years track record since 2004 all the way to 2024. This is the statistics of the S&P 500. So the one market that will be very choppy will be month of August. Okay. Now, month of July was bullish. We saw that happening in the S&P. So now the thing is this, we're supposed to have a very choppy August. Now, towards the end of August, it's expected to be some rally. Yeah? So I suspect that the market this week will fall a little bit. And then after that, next week, we may see a technical recovery. Now, one thing to note, in September, usually there will be an upside before the market cave in towards October, one of the dreadful months where usually the market will pull back in the last 20 years history. Okay, so that is the seasonal pattern for the S&P 500. Okay, so guys, that is the fundamental. Let's look at the technical for this morning. Okay, so this is the US Dow Jones. The opening price of today is 44,931. Okay, that is the Dow Jones. And the MLP, as you can see, is at 44,951. Now, the Dow now is basically fighting against the yellow to red candlestick changeover. Today is a DJDD, Dow Jones, it's a Doji directional day. We have currently a strong sell at the moment because it's below MLP, right? So now it's fighting. Now, why is it not going down so easily? Because you can see the boys are buying the last 2 days. And interestingly, today, the pivot 2 and the just 2-day low is almost identical. Yeah. So that's why I feel that if going to be some selling, the market will be like a law of attraction. You'll pull down to this figure. But once we reach that figure, I think the market will do some rebound. Now, I still think that the market will be able to come down to here at 44,563. That's a MA30. Now, that is the downside. Upside-wise, if the market can go up again, well, MLP, then of course 45,045 will be the target for the Dow Jones, right? So watch out for the OP. As long as market stay below OP, stay sell. If the market stays above OP, just go for the buy immediately. Don't wait. The market should be able to hit this point very easily. Yeah. Okay, so that is the Dow Jones. Now today I'll talk about the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ. Okay, you can see how it worked. Okay, the NASDAQ basically turns around at the doji. Next day came down, color change, yellow to red. Then the market was sideways because the KSI was still green. Then on this day, the market turns red, heavy red, because the boys turn to a sell. And you can see immediately the market just collapsed down. Yeah, this is very, very powerful stuff. So when you see a color change and followed by the KSI turning green, that's where the selling can be very, very bad. Okay, so for NASDAQ today, it's above the pivot 1. As long as it stays above OP, it's a buy instead. But if the market stays below OP, most likely it will travel down to meet back 23,076 again, because the boys are still very into selling of the NASDAQ, and it's below the MA30, so the sell signal is definitely there. Okay. All right, let's look at gold this morning. Now, gold is very interesting. Gold, we have a color change, CCRY, where the red turns to yellow. Yeah, that means a buy signal. Okay, the thing is this, if it's a buy, then why it's not going up? Because it's below OP now. The OP is 33.49, now it's for 33.43, it's below OP, so you cannot buy. But once gold go above OP, you can buy. Remember that once gold go above OP, you can buy. Interestingly, this is a KCL at 33.47. So again, if gold goes above OP, confirm it's a buy already, because the KCL has confirmed that. And also at the same time, you have the diamond, the 4 diamond, whereby the 4 diamond is here. It's 3347 in this case. So that means that if the market goes above OP, you have the pivot giving you the buy signal. You have the OP buy signal, you have the MA buy signal, you have the KCL buy signal, and of course the diamond buy signal. So if the market stays above OP, you have 5 buying signal. Wow, 5 buy signal on gold if the market stays above OP. So traders, watch out for that. There's 5 signal for gold to buy. Okay, so watch out for that. Very, very important. 5. That's a lot, no? Yeah. Okay, so watch out for this OP when the market breaks above OP. Yeah. Now downside wise, it will come down. You go back to 3333 because that is the pivot 1 support level. But with the KSI green and KCX black, I think we should be seeing a base out soon. And then watch out for the OP. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Now, the thing is this, if the Federal Reserve don't want to cut the rate, will that dampen the gold? Of course, definitely. So that's the reason why you can see the gold price has been coming down because the dampening of the dollar. All right. So if the rate cut really do happen, the dollar will drop. Then you can see the gold price going up. Okay. All right. Next market I'm bringing to is China. Now, China's stock market has been very strong. You can see very nicely. Now, our system itself works everywhere. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. The China market, right, you can see over here, since this day, the China have been all the way green. So that's why the market has been surging. So while the US market is coming down, the China market has been staying up. And later on, I'll talk to you about how to use the diamond properly. You see the power of it, yeah? So today, China can still continue to go higher to 14,479. And of course, if that actually happened, that will be a good chunk for people to take some profit over there itself. Yeah. Okay, next market I'll talk about is the Bitcoin. Now, this is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is also another very classic trade whereby we talk about the Bitcoin, and then after that, it reversed so strongly and then came down, right? So this is called the BMB, big movement bar, right, on the Bitcoin. So now I want to show you this, guys. I think it's away first. Okay, I'll show you how the BMB works on the Bitcoin. Okay, so I bring the Bitcoin in. Let's change the chart over. So based on what we are seeing right now, there is still a room for the Bitcoin to go lower to 109,879. I repeat, if Bitcoin is to fall further, Bitcoin has the potential to drop all the way down to 109. So I know that by saying this, a lot of people will freak out because a lot of people are buying Bitcoin and stuff like that. But based on the BNB calculation, if the Bitcoin doesn't go above 117, all right, 200, if it doesn't go above that and it stays down below OP, there is a high chance to see 109,879 for the Bitcoin. Yeah. So traders, take note of that. The upside itself is 17,200. The downside can be as low as 109,879. Okay, take some picture on this so that you can remember. All right, so traders, watch out for that, yeah? Now, would it be the same for Ethereum? Let's take a look. Ethereum already traded. Ethereum, when it was trading here, we already said that Ethereum will go to 41.21, and you can see when it goes down, it really stopped exactly where we say 41.21 level. So that's why there's a rebound over here itself on Ethereum, yeah? So that's the reason for everything, okay? So would that be the same for gold? Of course, gold. Gold is now still fighting around. So if gold stays above OP, gold can go all the way up to 33.88 level. If gold can stay above 33.50, it will go up to 33.88. So watch out for 33.50. If gold can stay above that, we will see a $38 upside. Okay, all right. So that is all for this morning first half session regarding about the market, all right, outlook. We'll take a short 2 minutes break. We come back, we'll talk about the diamonds. Now, this is going to be a very important segment. Do not miss out. This is a diamond show. So please stay tuned and watch me how I show you how to trade the diamond and win money from it on a regular basis. So don't go away. Yeah, stay tuned. Okay. All right, guys, we'll take a 2 minute short break right now. Thank you very much.